Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention to the NFL landscape lately, you've probably heard some buzz about the Steelers making a bold move to bolster their defensive line. And honestly, it's a move that could define their season. The Steelers, as we all know, have had a pretty solid start in 2025, sitting at 2-1 heading into Week 4, which isn't bad at all. But as always, if they want to truly compete at the highest level and make a real push for another Super Bowl appearance, they need to tighten up that defensive front. And that's where the big news comes in. Rumor has it that the Steelers are eyeing a major addition, Christian Wilkins. Now, for those of you who follow NFL news closely, you might remember that Wilkins has been a hot topic even before this season started. The Las Vegas Raiders, a team that was expected to be competitive this year, made a surprising move back in July by releasing Christian Wilkins. And honestly, it caught many off guard. The reasons behind that release weren't entirely clear at first, but reports indicated that it was tied to concerns about his rehab process. Wilkins was working his way back from a foot injury he suffered during his 5th game last season, which ultimately put him on injured reserve and sidelined him for the rest of that campaign. What makes this story even more intriguing is that Wilkins, when healthy, is a game changer. This guy is a force on the interior of the defensive line. He's known for his relentless pressure, his ability to disrupt plays, and his knack for getting into the backfield. Over his career, he's accumulated a total of 182 pressures and 28 sacks, which is no small feat. Last season, before his injury, he was showing promise with 9 pressures and 2 sacks in the limited time he played. It's clear that when Wilkins is at his best, he can make a difference. So why are the Steelers interested now? Well, let's take a closer look at their defensive struggles this season. The Steelers' defense, which has historically been one of their biggest strengths, has been a bit off this year. They've been dealing with injuries on the line, especially with Derek Harmon, who was supposed to be a key piece to their interior defensive line. Unfortunately, Harmon has been hampered by injuries right from the start, and that has left the Steelers scrambling to find consistency in the middle. As a result, their defense has been bleeding yards, a lot of yards. They're currently allowing an average of 386 yards per game to opposing offenses, which is quite high. And if you look at their rushing defense, it's even more concerning, allowing an average of 139.3 rushing yards per game. No NFL team can sustain that kind of defensive performance for long without paying the price. Over their last 10 games, the Steelers have been giving up an average of 27.9 points per game. That's more than half a season's worth of points, and it's more than enough to put any playoff hopes in jeopardy if it doesn't improve. This pattern isn't a coincidence. It's a clear sign that the Steelers need reinforcement up front, and Christian Wilkins could be exactly what they need. His style of play, relentless, aggressive, and disruptive, fits perfectly with what Pittsburgh has traditionally been known for on defense. When you think about a guy like Wilkins lining up alongside TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, and Alex Highsmith, it's almost scary to imagine the havoc that group could wreak. Wilkins, with his career 182 pressures and 28 sacks, has proven time and again that he can be a dominant interior presence. Before his injury last season, he was showing flashes of that form with 9 pressures and 2 sacks, and many experts believe he's still capable of returning to that level. What makes this potential signing even more appealing is the fit. Wilkins, when healthy, is a perfect complement to the Steelers' existing pass rushers. TJ Watt, in particular, thrives when he has a disruptive interior presence that can draw double teams and free him up to rush the quarterback. Cam Hayward is a veteran leader who can help Wilkins adapt quickly to the Steelers' defensive schemes, and Alex Highsmith is emerging as one of the league's rising stars. Together, this group could be a nightmare for offenses across the league. Of course, there are still some questions, the main one being Wilkins' health and whether he's fully recovered from his foot injury. The Raiders' decision to release him was partly due to concerns about his rehab process, and that's something the Steelers will need to evaluate carefully before making any moves. But if he's healthy and motivated, there's no denying that Wilkins can bring a big boost to their interior line. And let's be honest, the Steelers need that boost badly if they want to contend for another Super Bowl. Looking at the bigger picture, this move could have ripple effects across the AFC North. The division is already competitive, with teams like the Ravens and Bengals showing strength. Adding a player of Wilkins' caliber to the Steelers' defensive line could shift the balance of power, making Pittsburgh even more formidable. Their defense is already the backbone of the team, and with Wilkins, they could transform into one of the most imposing units in the league. That, in turn, could help them close out more games, especially in tight situations where defense wins championships. And let's not forget about the leadership and experience Wilkins brings. Even if he's not 100% right away, his presence in the locker room and on the practice field could elevate the play of everyone around him. The Steelers are known for their gritty, hard-nosed style of football, and a guy like Wilkins embodies that mentality perfectly. If he can regain his form and stay healthy, the Steelers might just have found a key piece to their championship puzzle. Now, I know some of you might be wondering about the timing of all this. Why now? Well, we're approaching the midpoint of the season, and the Steelers have a window to make some strategic moves. Adding Wilkins before the trade deadline, or even just as a free agent signing, could provide that spark needed to turn their season around. It's not just about fixing the defense for this year, but also about setting up a foundation for future success. Pittsburgh has a rich history of making smart moves at the right time, and this could be one of those moments. Of course, the NFL season is unpredictable, and injuries can change everything overnight. But based on the talent and potential fit, signing Christian Wilkins seems like a no-brainer for the Steelers. It's a move that could give them the interior beef they've been missing so far, and it could also send a message to the rest of the league that Pittsburgh is serious about competing at the highest level. Remember, the Steelers aren't just about their storied past. They're always about building a team that can contend year after year, and adding Wilkins could be a big step in that direction. So, as we keep an eye on this story developing, one thing's clear. The Steelers are making bold moves, and this potential acquisition of Christian Wilkins might just be the game changer they need to make another deep playoff run. They've got the talent on defense, especially with Watt, Hayward, and Highsmith, but adding a player like Wilkins could elevate that entire unit to new heights. And if he can get back to his best form, Pittsburgh's defense might become one of the scariest in the NFL, pushing them closer to that elusive Super Bowl title. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this move? Do you think Christian Wilkins can be the missing piece? Are you excited about the potential upgrade on that defensive line? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news. We're in this together, and the best is yet to come. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Steelers.